mysterious hospital. A dark night began in an apartment. The apartment was quiet. Only the chilling sounds of the wind could be heard. The silence inside the apartment was only interrupted by echoing footsteps. Those who lived inside this apartment felt something of the mysterious history of the building. A young man living in the apartment, Alex, decided to investigate the strange noises he had been hearing for a long time. As I wandered the corridors of the apartment building in the dark of night, there was a strange feeling. The walls seemed to be telling something, but he couldn't understand what it was. Suddenly, he noticed a door leading to a room in the basement of the apartment building. The door was old and rusty. It wasn't locked. Alex stepped inside and found an elevator in front of him. The elevator buttons were old, and many of them were not working. However, the bottom button was marked with the letter B. Curiously, he got into the elevator and pressed the B button. As the elevator started to descend, a cold wind enveloped him. Suddenly, the elevator stopped and the doors opened. He was greeted by a stunning hospital corridor. At the end of the corridor was a room with open doors. When Alex stepped inside, he was met with an awkward silence. An old and rusty operating table stood in the middle of the room. The walls were covered with off-white paint. There was a note on the table. The cure for the disease is here. Alex wanted to leave the room, but the elevator was not working. Suddenly, he heard a strange sound coming from the end of the corridor. The steps were getting closer, and Alex's heart began to beat faster. A pale, ghostly figure appeared from the corridor. The figure wore an old surgeon's robe, and his face was masked. His eyes were sparkling and filled with mysterious power. "Welcome, Alex," the figure said, his voice echoing around the room. Alex was horrified. As I tried to understand what was happening, the figure continued talking. "We'll make a deal with you, Alex. Your soul will be the cure for the disease." Alex hesitated, but he didn't know what to do. The figure approached him and held out his hand. Just as he felt he had accepted the deal, the lights in the room went out and everything was plunged into darkness. The next morning, the residents of the apartment building could not find Alex anywhere. However, the basement room was no longer there. The old stories of the apartment building came to life once again, and the legend of the mysterious hospital began to spread from word to mouth. In the end, the mysterious hospital story continued to live like a nightmare in the minds of the residents of the apartment. Years passed, and the mystery of the apartment building was still unsolved. With Alex's disappearance, anxiety and fear began to prevail among the residents of the apartment building. While some saw the mysterious hospital legend as just a story, for others it was much more than reality. One day, Lisa, one of the new residents of the apartment building, discovered a room in the old basement. The room was covered in dust, and the items inside were from years ago. While examining the walls of the room, Lisa found an old notebook. The pages of the notebook were faded and some pages were torn. However, the text on the remaining pages was readable. The notebook belonged to one of the former doctors of the apartment building and contained various notes about the hospital. As Lisa turned the pages, she felt like a veil of mystery was being lifted. She learned that the hospital was once under the apartment building, and secret experiments were carried out. She learned that it was a place where people were lost, souls were lost, and dark forces ruled. That night, Lisa dreamed of Alex. Alex was begging him to help her. Lisa gathered her courage and decided to track down the mysterious hospital. When Lisa found the entrance to the mysterious hospital, the walls reminded her of old fears. However, he needed Alex's help. She gathered her courage and stepped inside. As we progressed through the dark corridors, silence showed its face again. But this time, Lisa was determined. Finally, he stopped right in the middle of the room and took a moment to catch his breath. Suddenly, she heard a voice at the other end of the room. It was Alex's voice. Lisa ran towards him and held his hands. While thanking him, Alex reminded him that they had made a deal. Lisa did her best to save Alex's soul, but meanwhile, the dark forces of the mysterious hospital began to surround Lisa and Alex. The war was difficult and terrible. Eventually, Lisa and Alex managed to escape the effects of the mysterious hospital. However, the dark secrets of the mysterious hospital would forever remain a nightmare for the residents of the apartment building. Thus, the story ended with the courage of Lisa and Alex, but the mystery of the apartment was still not solved.